Hey folks, Moxie Wu here. Just wanted to bring you a little guide of Geo MC Traveler paired with Zhongli that I've been using for quite a long time. So we'll just quick go into Geo MC's build. We're just level 70 out of 80 because, for budget players sometimes it's hard to invest, but just want to get that 70-80 for that fate. And if you notice, I have extremely high energy recharges, and that's because they're actually using the Emblem of Severed Fate with the Festering Desire. Because just wanted to show off that this could be kind of a balanced set for anyone that has that sword from the previous event, as well as kind of a budget player. But in addition, you can instead use Harbringer of Dawn as well, but I'll show that build later with the blacksword, which I have a little more ideal ratios for. One thing to remember is that her C1, or his C1, gives a 10% crit rate increase. So having that low crit rate of 50%, for example, here in this case, is really a non-issue, especially if you pick up a crit card in the Abyss or similar. In terms of actual playstyle, if you use Zhongli, make sure you use him first for the pillar, then use Geo MC. Make sure you hold down the aim shot skill, because that will get rid of the lag that actually happens, and then switch back to Zhongli. If you notice, then the pillars pulse individually off the Geo MC structure, but if I use Geo MC again, the first pillar disappears, and this is because there's actually a 3 structure limit for Geo MC, for constructs in general on the map, even if you're in co-op or similar. So the sequence typically has to go like Zhongli, Geo MC, Zhongli again in terms of the constructs. But in between them, just to kind of show off the max damage potential of Geo, is a Bennett with ult, and also of course Lisa with the who has 60-70 Ascension for the Thrilling Tales of the Dragon Slayer as their weapon, just to buff Zhongli, and you can see the pulse damage and similar. But let's just go into Abyss, and I can just show off the damage that you can typically expect when you're doing that, for example. So we'll start with this is just something I'm used to. Normally I would put Zhongli first just to have it like rotate, but for some reason I got very used to Geo MC being on the top button. So, especially for controllers, you want to really capitalize on your muscle memory, as it were. That way you can all slow down. We'll just pick the Elemental Mastery card, just so it won't be seen too much. And we'll just shield with Zhongli. And if you notice, if I go close to the pillar and ult, basically hugging the pillar, all of these will pulse, which is quite nice to see. And then we'll use Zhongli again for another shield. And if you notice, if there's only 2 structures up and 3, it'll always keep pulsing like that. And this build's kind of nice, just because, you notice you're getting like 6.9 ticks, 6,000 ticks, as well as, 12,000 damage on her ult, on her E-skill. So it's good that way. And I'll just retry just so I can show off the damage real quick without anything on. So 14.8k, which is not that high. But if you use Bennett ult, then we're going to get up to 18.8k with the other one, and 32k. And then finally, I'll show the full sequence where if you had Lisa with Thrilling Tales, then you get a little bit more damage. I believe it was 36k when I was trying it out earlier. But we'll just show off that one real quick. So typically you just run in there, you'll ult, and then you'll Lisa ult, and then you'll use Geo MC as well, whichever way you want. And one other thing is, if the structure is, oops, well I guess we ran out of Bennett ult. If the structure gets destroyed, you get another instance of damage with the Geo MC. So in this case where these enemies chase you with like a dash attack or similar, much like the Wolf of the North, you can kind of put the structure or take cover behind it, and then you'll get a little more damage. And this is really nice for a person who's a little older and not as coordinated in terms of what you can do with in terms of what the game, because that way, you know, you can keep doing a little more damage here and there. Yeah, and so we get 36k or 34k there. And, so, you know, this is just kind of one of those mid-range builds if you want to try it out. The other option that for people who've been farming a long time in the Geo domain is obviously using 2 petra and 2 gladiator or shimewawa set. And so I'll just switch back. I think I put it all on Kujo Sara so we don't get confused here. And I think I just went the full 4-piece just because I had a goblet that worked out, and that feather was actually the off piece, so I can actually go crit damage helm with the blacksword. And if you notice now, the ratios are 66 and 182, which with the 10% up is 76% crit rate, which is plenty. And while the energy recharge is only at 122, if you notice, the Geo MC really didn't need too many particles because they generate so much from just being using their E skill, because they, and you know, it's close. Only Albedo technically will give more particles over the course of time, or Ningguang with like C2 or C4 where she, you know, rebuilds her Jade Screen, but that's only like one instance of it. Over time, Geo MC will actually equal them or surpass them just because they have cooldown times and similar. So that's kind of nice if you need that extra energy recharge or similar. Right, so we'll do that and that. And just a heads up, the pulsing actually does snapshot, so if we show it off like this, you'll notice that there are 2 instances of damage, one 10,000 and one at 6,400. So it's kind of nice to see that way that you know, Zhongli gets the snapshot as well, in case you're wondering. So it's good that way. But for now, we'll just show off the actual Geo MC damage here. And then we'll do the reset version and hold, and you know, get 39k there with the shred and Thrilling Tales coming back, and 36k. And if you notice, this damage is actually quite a bit, even if I'm just running around and away from enemies. Also, the nice thing is you can actually just kind of hide for some of these ones, in case you need a barrier or similar. And as long as you aim that, it's fine for them. So that's just a quick way to play Geo MC and Zhongli together. Bennett and Lisa are just, you know, kind of the budget options, as it were. And finally, I did want to mention that even though I didn't level it, if you don't want to pay for a blacksword, Harbringer of Dawn is going to be very good, just because that crit damage and crit rate will be phenomenal for Geo MC. Arguably, it's going to be a little bit better than the Festering Desire because of the ultimate burst. But either way, you get very good damage with Geo MC by just investing a little bit into them. So hope that helped, and you enjoy. And remember that Geo Resonance is very strong because it gives plus 15% damage overall. And hopefully we catch you on the next one. And bye bye.